Hello everyone, this video will explain an example question based off electrolysis cell. Okay, so basically we're providing electricity. Now this is going to be a non-spontaneous reaction, turning the chemicals back to separate the chemicals to their original states. Okay, so that's what this type of question is. Now look into it. Right? So basically the question is asking us how many grams of calcium metal will be produced when we have electrolysis of molten of calcium bromide using a current again, right? We're providing electricity, and for that the length of time. Okay, so now we're gonna see what we're gonna do. Okay, so if we wanted to know how many grams of uh, calcium we can produce, and so then you go, how this is related to anything? What should I do? Okay, so then you have to realize, right? So in electrochemistry, right? So electrons are transferred. So calcium right, calcium is going from, right? So it's actually, we had calcium ion, then we're going to turn into calcium, right? Okay, so this process, right? This process has what? Has electrons are involved. Okay, so then we probably need to associating, right? We need to associate this calcium will do, right, the calcium solid, how it's related to number of electrons. Okay, and then the electrons are involved in this process, which will be related to this 30 amperes and for 8 hours. Okay, so let's see how we can use all of this information. Okay, so amperes. Okay, so that's A. Okay, so that's actually our current. Okay, so that's our current, and then we can use that info. Okay, so that's I. Okay, so and then you go, okay, so I know this equation too. Q equals to IT. Okay, so I is the current times the time, so then we can get the charge. Okay, so the charge. Okay, you go, okay, so we do have current, we do have time, so we can calculate the Q first. Okay, so let's do that calculation. So the current is 30.0 equal amperes. What's how I don't see the units wise, but then we also know the amperes, right? So the A also equals units in terms of coulomb divided by second. Okay, so then of course this is how it relates back to the units for charge itself. Okay, so then the time given is 8 hours. There you go. I know what to do. I need to take care of the unit conversion. Right, so that will be 1 hour is 60 minutes, and then 1 minute is 60 seconds. Okay, so when we do this calculation, then you see, okay, this got cancelled out, that cancels out, right? So this cancels out, you calculate in charge. You go, that's nice. Okay, so this is the charge you're gonna calculate. Okay, so that's for that. So that will be a 64,000. Okay, so coulomb. So that's our Q. Okay, so when you have a Q, then you go, okay, now what? How do I use this Q info to get what we wanted? Remember, we wanted to relate it to electron, and then you know Q is related to this, right? Q or number of electrons I can calculate by using this info Q divided by Faraday's constant. Okay, so then you go, how this works out? Let's use this always, right? So if you sometimes you go, I don't see it, but units always help you. Okay, so Faraday's constant, we know that's 96,485 units coulomb moles of electron. Okay, so then you go, oh, now I see, because now moles got cancelled out. So Columbus canceled out most of electrons and the denominator's denominator, right? So flips back up. So I'm calculating most of electrons. You go, that's nice. That's what I wanted. So when we do this calculation, we should get this value as 8.95. Okay, so this 8.95 most of electrons are provided by using a 30 amperes and for 8 hours. Okay, so that's how many most of electrons are provided. And as I said, think about it, the relationship between most of electrons, calcium, right? So how is related? We know calcium is 2 plus, right? So it's by 1 to 2 ratio. Okay, so 8.95 moles of electron. Okay, so every 2 moles of electron, I can turn into 1 mole of calcium as solid. Okay, and then you go, I wanted to know grams. After I convert it to moles of calcium, you go, I know molar mass, right? So 1 mole of calcium is 40 grams. Now you can calculate the mass. After this calculation, it should be about 179 grams. So D. This is this example question about electrolysis, and hopefully this is helpful, and we just need to understand where to start and then what's the thought process. Okay, so thank you for listening.